Ay, ay, ay. Hey, okay. Out to the pay, for the grass is always greener. I don't do no labels, I call it how I see it. Okay, out to the pay, for the grass is always greener. I don't do no labels, I call it how I see it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of No Label the Podcast. Here, my boy Nell.
Yo.
Special shout outs to everybody that's been subscribing on YouTube as normal, liking on Instagram, sharing, commenting, following, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, all of it. Go ahead, head over to nolabelthepod.com. Now, what about the newsletter?
Oh yeah, new updates. We just had a great convo with Eat Sip Chat. That joint was dope, you know what I mean? Reconnecting with the African diaspora and all that good stuff, you know what I'm saying? Please subscribe, you know what I'm saying? Click those links, keep up to date with all of our stuff, and keep an eye out for new drops. Today, we're sitting with some dope DJs, some event curators throughout the city, you know what I'm saying? And I remember when I first seen it and I popped up, I was like, Honeyback. I was like, the Honey Group. Okay, that's kind of tough. And I saw the videos and I seen it was really catching the buzz. So I'm like, yo, we reached out, y'all reached out, and we were able to make something happen. So what's good? We sitting with the Honey Group. What's good?
What's going on? Thanks for having us.
Oh yeah, no problem. Glad we could do it. How y'all from Buffalo?
Yeah, so I grew up in Hamburg and
Yeah, I grew up in Williamsville.
Okay, word. Were y'all like throwing parties and stuff back then, or high school?
I was like more going to parties and stuff in high school and then college when I went to UB. When I was DJing, I started doing my own events like outside of just residential nights, and that's how Thompson and I met, and he sent a recap like to my phone and photos after we connected, so we were like, okay, we'll just keep this up because I think you were wanting to work with a DJ too.
I mean, I never really partied. I didn't drink until I was 21, so my going out was shooting shows. Okay. So I would DM artists that were coming to town ballroom or venue or whatever and just offer to shoot their shows, and that was like me going out. And eventually one of those shows was Ryan, and we just kind of hit it off, and he liked my content or whatever, and kind of just went from there, really.
Oh, so you went to Hamburg? What high school did you go to?
I went to Hamburg.
Yeah.
Williamsville North.
Yeah.
Okay. How about you guys?
North is green?
Yeah, green and gold.
We go with that shit.
Yeah. Sweet.
Yes. Will North is way better than Will South, so.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's easy.
Did you play us in any sports?
We played Will South.
That's why you said that.
Oh, okay.
We would play them in sectionals every year. And lose.
Why? Because we weren't good enough?
I think y'all in a different class.
Yeah.
I remember
Section
Hamburg was
6.
Yeah, we were section 6.
Section 6 football.
We were in class.
You guys played us, I think.
Section 8, whatever it's called.
I don't remember. If we get to a certain point in like sectionals and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we played Hamburg in basketball my senior year.
Okay.
We would always lose to Hamburg and everything. Hated Hamburg.
Class of what?
17.
16.
16? Okay.
Yeah, so he's got the jump on me a little bit.
No, that makes sense. I'm trying to think. But, so you said you started shooting. Like, how early did you start videography?
I was making like just simple GoPro videos of doing anything with my friends, like recaps of us going cliff jumping or just any dumb thing. Like, I was a big fan of Jay Alvarez, like in my young teens. You know what Jay Alvarez is? He makes like trendy travel videos with his girlfriend, and I just looked up to him at first. And then I went to a music festival and I saw all the videographers, because I was front row and I see all these guys like shooting videos, and I make videos but not to that level, and I'm like, okay, so these dudes get to be front row, they get like the VIP experience, but they're also doing what they like. I'm like, I want to do that. So then that's when I started like experimenting, getting into shooting venues and stuff.
No, that's dope. Definitely getting anywhere with a camera.
Yeah, for real.
That is an all access pass.
Yeah.
Shit. So then you started shooting during high school and a little bit after?
Yeah, early high school, and then going into college, my freshman year, I was making like recap videos for the sports teams. I went to a school in West Virginia, a very small school that nobody's ever heard of. Fun fact, it's actually bankrupt and doesn't exist. my college doesn't exist anymore.
It's real low key.
But
You still have student loans?
People know what's up.
No,
Oh.
but I went on a scholarship.
Oh, okay.
I was nice at lacrosse. Yeah.
Like,
So I was doing that, and then my summer back in Buffalo, like on break from school, DJ Rankin hit me up to shoot Kiss the Summer Hello downtown, and I was shooting for a band there, and they ended up hiring me to go on tour with them, and then it just like really took off from there. Like I went on a 3-month cross-country tour with the band.
Oh, no, that's fine.
And that's kind of where I really learned like the craft of like just shooting every single night and the demand of like content next day and all that, and just getting good at my craft, I guess.
Yeah, you gotta sharpen the skills.
Yeah.
Yeah, I seen on your bio was talking about you did some stuff for like Dua Lipa and
Yeah.
UK.
Yeah, Dua Lipa was at Kiss the Summer Hello. That's who I like shot with, and then one of the guys in the band that I toured with, Connor, he's from Cleveland and has some connections to MGK. Like MGK kind of put him under his wing because he's like another talented rapper in Cleveland, and so Connor got me into that gig and shot a couple of MGK shows.
No, that's dope.
It was pretty sweet.
Yeah, I was out there in Cleveland when MGK first started popping.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was crazy.
Lace up.
It was crazy.
Oh boy.
Lace up.
Lace up.
Oh,
Cleveland's sick.
I love it.
Like it's like Buffalo times like 5 or 10 maybe. Like it's not quite a massive city, I would say, but it's like what I see Buffalo could be if everybody else had a sense of urgency.
Yeah, he always says that. He always says that Cleveland has like a real good local music scene.
It does.
Dude, creatives in
They play their
general,
own music
like
in the
every
clubs.
niche, every genre, like clothing, music, video, like visual creatives and everything. When you go there and get tapped in, you're like, there is so much talent here. It's crazy.
I had a buddy who went to school in Cleveland, and I remember when he first was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go here to Baldwin Wallace." I was like, "Why are you going to Cleveland? Like, you're actually paying more than me, like, and whatever." And he was on like an athlete scholarship, and dude, it's like on the come up and all this, and I was like, I don't know if they really have anything there. And I went there, and I was like, okay, I kind of see it, but then over the course of like that 7-year progression, I mean, they have like Forward Day Nightclub, they have a bunch of different spots that have popped up since then, so there's a ton of investment that was like put into it for sure. And
because people talk about the flat, like I went to school out there for like 2 years, and they had talked about the flats.
The flats
just kind of run down a little bit when I was there, but that was with the teen clubs. Right?
Yeah.
Now they like leveled it, clear up, and rebuilt all of it. I was like, yeah, this shit wrong. I was like, nah, that's the spot now. Though Cleveland's a great city.
yeah.
Ryan, so when did you get into like DJing? When did you start to get your passion for that?
I guess like officially during COVID, that's when I bought my first like starter mixer, but you know the game DJ Hero, so I was like a super nerd about like video games and like Guitar Hero, and I played a bunch of instruments like in elementary school and like towards the beginning of middle school, but then I just gave up on it because I was like, I want to play sports. So I guess like my first intro was through DJ Hero, and like that's kind of how that, and like just listening to music like trance and the old school like Tiesto stuff, I got introduced more to the like EDM scene. And I remember back like when I was in middle school, like it was like weird to like listen to Skrillex and like Deadmau5 and stuff like that, and just really niche. But during COVID is when I got like my actual start. So I was part of this program at UB called the Prosperity Fellowship, which is pretty much for people who are on like a career trajectory to impact Western New York. So they give out financial assistance and like program requirements based on that. And part of the financial award you get is called an enrichment fund. So when I was in college, I was like raising money for a startup idea I had, which was just like Google Docs for music. And I was like, well, I want to better understand my customer more, so I need like the $1,000 enrichment fund for music production equipment and like DJ software. And then I ended up just by being locked down in COVID, like falling in love with DJing, because I was just doing it all the time. And that went on for about like a year, and then I was sending my mixes out to like my buddies and stuff, and this person I knew was working at a bar, Fairleigh Allen, and she just sent a mix like to the owner and was like, "Hey, you should check this guy out," because they were trying to build a Saturday. And so I talked with him, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't really know I can pay you, like it's your very first gig, so if you can fill it out, like we'll do like a retainer for a little bit." And so like packed all the sections out, and then just kind of went from there. So played at a bunch of different spots, but initially it was probably like a year and a half of just DJing in my room. And like, I mean, during quarantine, like that COVID lockdown, I mean, everybody was doing like,
I'm about to say the DJs were going crazy.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
DJs
With
were
the
going
live
crazy.
streams and the
Hell
rooms and
yeah.
stuff.
What's the one black dude name? D Nice.
D Nice.
Oh, yeah,
D
yeah.
Nice was going crazy.
Mhm.
Shit, I was watching Virgil on Twitch.
Yeah,
Virgil was
yeah.
like,
the one guy I
Virgil
always,
was a really good DJ.
he actually
Virgil's
designed
great.
like a sick
I
like
know.
Pioneer mixer that was like see-through limited
Yeah,
edition and an
And the
off-white
orange
one.
ones,
The orange ones are sick. Like you can't get those anymore for like under
he
10.
spray painted them.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's tough. Nah, yeah, man. That was. I used to look forward to those COVID like Friday nights, just throwing IG live and just
I would be on the live streams like clockwork. Like James Hype, I mean, he was just sick because he had the full like club standard mixer with all the additives, and he just was super animated, and his production was like, it was a space like this, and multi-camera, you could see it from the top. So a lot of like what I would learn is from just watching him, and then other DJs, like old live sets from when there wasn't a quarantine. Like people have asked me like, do you watch tutorials and stuff like that, or like how do you? And it was just like watching those people and then trying to implement it and like refine it in my own. And I don't know, my friends were always really honest with me. I'm like, yo, this sucks, or like this is sick. And so you just got better from there,
Great friends to have.
Yeah, for real.
sure.
You know, Nell was a DJ for a little bit.
No
Oh,
way.
word?
I DJ'd literally one night.
Literally. Huh? That was a
Not enough time to have like a DJ name or.
It was DJ Side Effects.
Okay.
I had a
Let's
mask.
go.
I had a mask.
No
on.
way.
Yeah,
I like
I had
that.
all this shit going.
I like that.
Nah, this shit. It was super cool. I was like, when I say I was nervous, dog. Like the week before, like I was like, yeah, they're about to back out, like about to shit on myself. And I'm just like, you know what? I just gotta do it. So I just went through it. But it was a dope experience.
Yeah.
But like what I learned from it was like, I don't like playing what other people like.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm a
okay,
selfish.
yeah.
I'm a selfish
Yeah.
DJ. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, I know this is dope.
You're gonna tell the audience
yeah,
what
this
they
is.
are
I'm
gonna
gonna tell
like.
you this is dope.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You're gonna move to it,
I
or
respect that.
I'll just do it.
Yeah, not a crowd pleaser.
Yeah. I think that's one. I understand the aspect of like, you know what I mean, feeding into the crowd and
Yeah.
dancing, but it's like, I think that's an element of DJing that's kind of missed. It's like
Yep.
sneaking in the
Yeah.
new song where it's like, yeah, I ain't heard this yet, like breaking songs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's the part. Like,
Ryan's a good balance at that. Like
Word.
playing what you know is gonna pop off, but then
Mhm.
also like telling them what's next, and you know what I mean, showing them kind of. That's why he's a good DJ, because he has good taste in music. One of the reasons. But
Yeah. Nah, the DJs were the tastemakers, man.
yeah, exactly.
And it's like you said, you mostly EDM and like house. Or?
Yeah, so I'm only doing like house and dance music at this point. I had a stint when I first started, like in the Fairleigh Allen, and like I was doing bottoms up and places like that where, you know, you would have to do like some sort of percentage, right? Like it's got to be 70% open format or like 30% house or just some other kind of variation of it. But I think that kind of changes with like macro trend and stuff. I just don't listen to a like open format, whether it's like hip hop or R&B, as much as I used to like be as good. Like I just love dance music, so
Word.
pretty much sticking to that. And I feel like I've been able to just quickly sharpen and refine like my own skills as a DJ through it. And I don't know, I think what I've seen too is like house in general is just, I guess dance like as a whole is just becoming super popular.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
way more than it was when I had started DJing, so I kind of got in at like a good time as almost cementing myself like in the beginning. Like I really only want to play like dance music and
Yeah.
just denying stuff when they'd be like, oh, you gotta play this or that.
Run with
So,
that shit.
Have you visited New York City at any point?
yeah, I played there in August. I played at Public Hotel, so it's this.
Oh yeah,
Sick.
that's whenever I go to Public, that's where
Yeah,
I go.
yeah.
Whenever I go to New York, I go to Public.
Yeah, so I played on
Yeah.
top of.
Huh?
That rooftop is so sick.
Public hotel.
Yeah.
Is that where we went with the like with the mirror on the
Yeah,
yeah.
And then it's on the ceiling. It's got the disco ball like fragments. So I played on top of that. I was visiting my girlfriend's cousin, and we had stayed there for a weekend. And my buddy, who I met in college, I think he lives on Long Island or Staten Island or one of the close 1 hour drive towns. And so he had gotten booked at Nebula and a few other spaces. My boy Bruno, and I was like, "Yo, I'm visiting. Are you booked anywhere?" And he's like, "Oh, I am actually. Let me see if I can just have the promoter put you on with me for a back-to-back." And so I didn't really know anything about the venue other than Google Images.
That's the spot.
Yeah, and so they're like, "Dude, on Friday we could play at Art Space too." And I was only there for from Friday to Sunday, so I didn't want to make the majority of the trip just we have to do the DJ set stuff. So he's like, "Okay, we can play on the roof on Sunday." So sunset, just overlooking Manhattan. It was sick, and
that's fire.
The photos and stuff were cool. And then we had an Uber or a flight an hour later. So by the time I got off my set, we had probably 5 minutes to get into the pre-scheduled Uber at the lobby, and we're just racing through TSA and stuff. But yeah, that was my most recent New York trip, and their scene's crazy over there too.
Yeah, that's why I asked, because the house and dance music is real popular out there.
Have you ever played Detroit?
I haven't been to Detroit, but I'm
It's
itching.
the Mecca.
Yeah, it is. Because that's where they invented techno. Is Detroit. So
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's this real big house scene out there.
Movement festival, I'd love to go to that. Or Chicago is where house was invented, and then all the variations kind of stem off from that general pocket.
What's the difference between house and go-go?
Dude, there's
Go-go is
between the
that's
little
more open format. I would feel like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Go-go is you can still play that on the floor real slow.
Go-go originated in DC, right?
That's a DC
Yeah,
thing.
that's a DC thing.
I would say so house, the way it came about was there was a DJ playing at a place called the Warehouse, Frankie Knuckles, and what he was doing is he was taking either single plates from vinyl shops that are disco tracks or sample cuts or dub platters and stuff, and pitching them up on the vinyl fader, the tempo fader for the vinyl, and generally disco tracks are at 100, 110 or 115, but house is 120 to 130 is really where it starts to you feel that 4 on the floor. So he would speed it up on the vinyl thing, and people would go to the record shops afterwards and be like, "Oh, I need to hear that house, that music they play at the Warehouse," or and so we don't know what that is. So then people started going there and just trying to replicate the music style in the actual production that they would do, and so it was available in the record stores. And then it just kind of took off from there. Everybody was chatting about it, and
no, that's
it
right.
started
That's how it starts. Yeah, man, that's just dope. It was I feel I wish Buffalo had a space. I used to always talk to Kevin Spears about it for Music Party.
Yeah.
I used to always talk to him about there being a space for dance music, house music, and places to hear new music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Always felt in house and dance music, you can interject a new song as long as that shit's grooving. People are gonna be dancing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Versus a hip hop scene is is everybody else thinking this is cool?
Right.
Everybody looking at each other and it's yo, fam, do you like this song or not?
I feel we have a more interactive dance music scene than the hip hop scene because you can find dance music at Silo City and weirder places that you would just find hip hop. This places are a lot more accepting to that,
Yeah.
That's what I was about to say. It's more accepting.
Do you think that's a community or culture of the music thing? Or is it more of the actual music that's kind of put out? Because house, you could know nothing about it, and just based on the arrangement, it's very predictable. It's very if you can walk, you can be on pace with a song if you're just have a brisk pace or something. So,
he's why do you think it's more accepted than it's a hip hop thing? Or?
No. I mean, I guess just more, you had said, it's more interactive, for the crowd. Instead of having to look around, you don't have to maybe get as involved or
Yeah, I think it's just a tempo thing also.
Yeah.
It's just if you moving, you're not thinking while you're dancing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just yo, you in the vibe, you getting it. It's just you're already in the flow, so it's just easy to keep it going.
I'm very animated when I DJ, and so people have asked me hey, do you practice those moves in a mirror and shit? I'm just doing the same thing as everybody else. I'm feeling it, or just working while listening to it. So I don't know. I do agree with that sentiment, but I don't know. I could like get down with anything. So I don't really see
He
like.
can. He has a wide range. We're roommates. And this dude is always playing music. Like, there's not a quiet time in the house.
Yeah.
It's all genres, everything.
Yeah, I was playing Blue Blocks Clan like in the car ride here, and then I think I went to like Mike Sherman and then like Sade or something. And I was like, back to like Mount P and shit. Like, it was just like all over the place.
Nah, I respect that because when I play music, I'm all over the place. I'll play some fucking DMX and then go to Jhené Aiko.
Yeah,
I don't care. I don't care.
I think that's what makes like great. Not just like any artist or like DJ, if you could just take stuff from as many sources and like reference it as possible. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of enthusiasts who just kind of get really down into one genre, which is great. Like, but I think having a wide array is just going to open you up to more creative options, and like the same thing for like videography or just any kind of content that gets created. So
for sure. So like when you guys do your event, is there normally like a LED, like a screen, and you line it up visually?
So it depends where we're at. Right now, like one Saturday a month, we're at Rec Room, for example. They have huge.
it's on Fridays.
Fridays. So they have huge LED screens. So I like made animations for it and stuff that branding and just visually appealing stuff.
It's like a live feed too.
But,
like the DJ booth.
And then we have some LED signs for branding as well. Like the front of the DJ booth says Honey with our logo and a big LED sign. We have we're like notorious for our overhead hexagon lighting that kind of strobes and goes to the beat. Like if you see a photo with the 3 hexagons above the DJ, like it's a Honey show, stuff like that.
That's dope.
Yeah, just little branding stuff. I mean, that stuff's really expensive. So as we grow, we will be like actively investing back into it. But yeah, it depends on the venue. Like every venue has a different level of production that they can offer us and whatnot. But we are trying to push and build and build and build.
When it comes to the visuals and like the video production, do you handle that solely, or do y'all have other people that are part of the team?
I do handle it solely. Yeah,
That's a lot.
I do. It is a lot. Like creative director kind of has a funny name in the atmosphere, like make fun of it and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think that's the only way you can really like give me a label in Honey Group is like I do all the branding, photo, video,
Because it's like 5 jobs in one.
literally.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but I love it.
Yeah.
Like literally, like if I didn't love it, it would burn me out like that. But I love it, and he does a lot too, and we make a good pair in that way because, like, I'm gonna go hard, he's gonna go hard, and like when he is grinding, it just gives me more motivation to hold up my end of it. So we just push each other. Like I know you guys get it because like this is not common in Buffalo, and like what me and him do is not common in Buffalo. So it's like real recognize real and that like
Iron sharpen iron.
yeah. I notice like people grinding and yeah.
We have a lot of complementary skills. Like I am nowhere near capable of giving like a creative insight in terms of like colors or why tech should be in like certain places and stuff. And I notice that like for audio and stuff, like I think a lot differently than maybe Thomas does, or like even in some of the like ideas we come up with, like, we come up to a really good compromise, but it's after like we both give input on something that we didn't consider after, you know what I mean? So
yeah, 100%.
Like it's definitely very collaborative, and I think part of the reason that we really haven't had to outsource like a whole lot is because we cover so much ground like as us two, but it's not that we're like afraid to like reach out and like we've had people for like when we did the Seneca One tower, like
I reached out and got Tage, Tage.
Yeah.
He did like behind the scenes footage for that because we want to start doing a thing on YouTube. It's called like Growing in Public. Like a lot of brands are doing it, like having a series on YouTube to show behind the scenes, because like all of our like everyone that comes to our shows, we only see them when we're partying, and it's like they don't know that everything we do is not just like a party. So we want to show them more into the brand and business side of it, and how much work goes into booking these shows and having these events, and that it's not just like doing Henny shots at me and CO2, all that stuff. So
people think you just like slap down DJ gear and like speakers and then like it's like that easy. But there's a whole negotiation piece. You have to do outreach, like the logistics scheduling. You have to.
The next morning, I'm editing for 12 hours that day.
Yeah.
So it's like I have to. I learned really fast to take it easy at the shows because the next morning is like when my job like really starts, and got to get it out on time. Like get a recap out ASAP and all that stuff. So.
I barely drink like when I DJ. And
Yeah.
I hear that often from like DJs. It's like a lot of them like just at a certain point where it's like, yeah, I don't drink.
It's like work.
Yeah.
Like
you're working.
Feel loose.
But it's still fun. You gotta have fun though.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll have like a
otherwise,
shot or two.
it's gonna get old and like all that. I mean, if we were doing this every weekend now that summer months are picking up, we're gonna be doing it just about every weekend. It's like it's a lot, so you have to pace yourself but also remember that like this is what you love to do, and remember that higher mission, which like our goal is to bring like A-list talent to Buffalo and like in the house music genre and whatnot, and throw really big events and just kind of put Buffalo on the map, like in that genre.
Nah, facts. Where did the honey name originate from?
all right, so it was funny because you guys were talking about the honey pack thing earlier. That is like where it's from, basically. So I forget who it was, but I was at the
For
party.
the record, me and him have both never tried them though.
Yeah, I've never taken honey
You're
pack.
missing out, buddy.
I've heard.
I never had either.
Yeah.
I've never tried it. I have heard I'm missing out.
So I used to
Trying to be Superman. He's backflips in that thing.
Yeah. So it was, at one of the parties that I did, this was like a month or two after I had met Thomas, there was somebody who like just showed up with a honey pack and was like, I don't know, like being a dickhead with it, like, showing it off and stuff. So I just took out like my Snapchat app and I wrote like honey pack boys on the thing because him and I had established like a relationship at that point, and then we just
What year was this?
this was literally like a year to the state. No, this was in April.
Oh yeah,
At-
you're right.
at Rip City.
A year ago.
2024?
Yeah. So it was for a party that I was
like the
doing.
timestamp thing.
Yeah. So April 24, I would say, like, there was a dude just, like, flexing, like, his honey pack and, like, the crowd and stuff. And I was like, all right, like, we get it. You take Cialis. So, and I was like, okay, I'll be funny because, my set was over and it was just, like, all four of the DJs, like, at the same time. So it was way more lax. And I just put, like, honey pack boys on my Snapchat and then, like, flex it on the forehead because people will do that to like say shit to the DJ because it's just too loud.
Yeah.
Or like they'll try to request songs and just like be annoying about it.
Snapchat.
Yeah.
So then I came in and I was like, how do we make this a brand and more mature?
Yeah.
So then, because all summer it was honey pack boys up, honey pack boys up, honey boys up, and so I was like, all right, honey group. And
Yeah.
that just made it way more mature and official and.
We also had a lot of weird like
Corporate.
coincidences. Like we found like a Winnie the Pooh USB like in the ground and like getting stung by bees like a lot and shit. Like just really weird stuff that just didn't make like it was like almost too like coincidental to not take like the stab at. So we legally filed our business and then we started doing events in September and they've just scaled up to like different places now. We're averaging anywhere from like 400 to 600 patrons per event. So, definitely, it's been pretty insane lately. Like just trying to adjust to that. And
It's wild how fast it's moving. Like we were at Jackrabbit every Saturday, and then next thing you know, we're just like hopping every venue, and we're like almost crossing off every big venue in Buffalo.
Yeah, and it's not with like any bad intent either. Like each venue, like to what you had said about the lighting and stuff, and how we provide like certain aspects of it. Or so we have an event at Patrick's on Saturday, and like the reason we want to do it there is because like I had been DJing there, and I just know that like the view is sick. There's interior lighting that isn't available in other places. Like it gives you a different vibe, and like Rec Room gives you a different vibe with CO2 cannons and stuff. That like even Jackrabbit or some of the other places that we've been like. They give a completely different vibe, and it's what sets it off from some of the other parties. So even though it's like us two coordinating the photo, the video, the lighting, like the DJ logistics, like the set times and stuff. If you were to go to every single one in a month, it would be a completely different night.
It feels completely
but
different.
have a sense of like familiarity. So,
like we're about to be on a rooftop for the first time this Saturday at Patrick's. Like that's gonna be a whole different vibe than what you've seen before. You know, I mean, we hope the weather is good, but we're supposed to be on the patio, like the DJ's on the patio with a 360 like crowd experience.
Yeah.
So that's something like they don't do, and it's gonna be completely unique for like everyone in Buffalo like to experience. So hopefully the weather is good. We will have a good weather day there someday. This summer.
For sure.
It's a little early in the season, but we'll see.
April showers.
Drones will be out.
Rightfully so. What's been your favorite location that the Honey Group has performed at so far?
For me, it's Seneca One.
Seneca One was crazy.
Yeah.
Did you see any of that?
Mm-hmm.
So he's the first ever musical act to perform on Seneca One. The tallest building in Buffalo.
Yeah,
Not in.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the roof.
That was an insane like experience.
Shout out to Sean Heidinger.
Yeah. So we put him on. So there wasn't a crowd. That is not legal because you are that high up. No guardrails. No nothing. But we put him up, and we were just gonna do like a COVID style thing where he does a multi-cam pre-recorded set. And
well, it wasn't pre-recorded. I was picking it live, but
when we post it, it's not like live.
Oh,
you are performing live.
I'm performing live in the audio.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm not trying to put that.
Pre-recorded
is a no-go.
Pre-recorded is like a jump scare.
Yeah.
It's like clips of
Those
He
people.
did not have the sing.
Those are my favorite things. Those are like the
You
DJ
can watch the
version.
footage. I am this the song.
Yeah.
Hit the button and he's like twisting the bottle cap.
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah. They ain't doing anything.
Well, what month was that?
That was
I'm
in
trying to
November.
lay out the scene. It was cold as hell because you're so high up and windy. We had like a few, like 2 hours to set up everything. So we had to take everything up. We had to climb like stairs with all the equipment, get it like 5 camera angles set up, get him set up, which all of that gear has like hella wires coming out of it. So get it all set up. And then we had to start it exactly like 1 hour during golden hours so that it was like dark by the end. And I had 2 drones going, 5 camera angles, and his fingers were not working by the end of it because he was so cold.
Yeah.
We were all freezing, but he had to be bare-handed like to control everything.
I was on my Josh Allen shit. I had like the
Yeah.
hand warmers in my North Face. I was just like trying to warm up and just keep moving around. So
No, that's raw.
But that was sweet.
Yeah.
I would say my favorite like place we've performed is either Seneca One or I really enjoy the Rec Room shows right now. Yeah, I think Patrick's Rooftop is gonna be sick though. Like I'm really excited for that.
Nah, rightfully so.
Shout out Dan Melcher.
Wear it up.
What is it about Thomas? What is it about Ryan? Ryan, what is it about Thomas that made you think that you could start a successful business together? Because having a friendship is one thing, but starting a whole business together is a whole other thing.
Yes. So when I first met Ryan, I thought he was a frat boy. He just had like this crazy energy, like which he still does, but I'm used to it now. But I'm more introverted and kind of chill, and he's just going at all times. And so when I first met him, I was like, whoa, this dude's got a lot of energy and whatnot. I shot the show. Obviously, he gassed me up crazy after, and like, I haven't really shot that. This was when I just moved back to Buffalo, really. So to get that confidence boost, it just naturally made me want to work with him again. So fast forward, I work with him again because he was like, dude, this is the sickest video someone's ever made for me. I'm like, cool, I want to work with you more. Like, so to be honest, like this is really what was going through my head. So then I did it again, and I then was like, this dude is like really good at his craft. He's passionate about it. I haven't seen, like, when I went to that festival and saw the guy shooting, it wasn't just like, oh, I want to do that. It was, I love like EDM and I love creating videos. So I want to mash those two together. So I like found my version of like the guy I looked up to was Roy Kramer. He toured with the Chainsmokers and all those guys. And so I was like, finally, the Roy Kramer, and he was like the Chainsmokers. And I was like, this is a perfect match. Like, me and him could eventually probably tour the world together. Like, that's just my immediate, like, I gotta drive, he's gotta drive, I respect it, let's do it as much as we can. So then, fast forward, we spend the entire summer together at the pool club this summer. And I like, again, just instilled like our work ethic, and also we just became best friends through that. Like, we were there every day grinding and just bouncing off of each other and whatnot. And so then you fast forward again, and we moved in together. So then we're like best friends that also just complement each other, and it never, to answer your question about doing business, like it never really feels like that. Like it really just feels like I'm on a mission, he's on a mission, and that mission is the same basically. Like genuinely, we're not like looking for other things. We kind of are on this same trajectory towards the same mission, and I think that's really special. Like I call Honey Group like an angel brand basically. Like sometimes I've started a lot of brands in my life, like, and by a lot I mean like only 5, a handful. And sometimes you just have that one and you're like, yeah, and you're like, this is like something really special. Like from the name to the community you have to all the branding you could do around it. Like our other talents, like he's a genius like software engineer. Like he can build crazy stuff on the internet that like also complement my creative skills. So like we are actively working on the back end of a creative agency, like a whole just agency to help small businesses in Buffalo and stuff. So even outside of parties, like we want to create a mother brand that then can like boost Honey Group and everyone that's under Honey Group, DJ wise and whatnot, boost their brand. But we could do what we did for Honey Group to your brand and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's dope.
I think for
that was
me,
a long ass answer. But
nah,
I
you're good.
understand it though.
Yeah.
I think for me, what I really was like, kind of pushed me over is like, okay, like I'm gonna actually like pursue this and like do it fully, especially like with Thomas, because I had been looking to do something in that capacity, whether it was my own events or just like any sort of business. I've been very entrepreneurial, but the biggest part that a lot of people forget about being an entrepreneur is the community and like the connection and network that you build with it. In a lot of tech startup scenes, there are people who they'll do meetups or they'll exchange ideas, and what a lot comes from that is like differing ideas or input that you quickly bounce off one person, just kind of no judgment, and gets feedback from, or they'll add on to the idea and it'll make it better and supplement it. So in the first event that I worked with Thomas, I was realistically just like blown away. I had been kind of looking for that, like for my own events, because I knew that for as much of a good DJ as like anyone can be, that's only going to go so far if you can't market it well. And so, you know, I barely saw him during the event, but then like at the end, I just got like this beautiful like recap and stuff, and was able to just push more tickets for the next one. So after seeing that growth, like pitching different ideas to him in the process of it, I was like, okay, this is making sense. And over the summer, I just continued to foster, and like in any creative exchange or just input that I kind of have to give with music or he has to do visually, it felt like a very natural and just kind of like non-competitive like relationship in the sense of a business, and also just as friends. Like we were on the same kind of, I guess, trajectory or like frequency in a way, like the same kind of vision. And you know, with Honey, we were like, okay, this, you know, this is what I'm kind of seeing for it, like long term and even like short term. How do we get to there? And you know, granted, there's like hiccups in any part of that, but it's been very easy to work with, like Thomas. And then it's also like, I think he pushes me to kind of see that further vision and like even see stuff in different ways from like a consumer standpoint. So, you know, I guess like alignment and just drive, and then having like complementary skills and a natural relationship.
Complementary personalities as well. Like I mentioned how I'm more introverted, he's extroverted. That helps so much in business. my struggle with my other brands that I said I've started, which is funny because Honey is the first brand I've started where I've had a partner. So that has a lot to do why other brands have failed, and this one is
Yeah, I know you got the clothing brand.
Yeah.
One too.
I try to do everything alone, and it's like, I don't really try, but when you're starting a company, it's so hard to afford to like outsource for help and all of that. Like,
For sure.
I always want to take care of my people that I work with, and it's like when you're grinding and starting and putting all your own money into something, it's like super hard to like get someone. I also have a high expectation of talent. Like, I want to hire, I'm like, oh my god, this person's amazing at what they do, I want to hire them. I can't afford them. You're like, you know what I mean? So then I just don't hire anybody. But personality wise, it's like I've always been like super quiet about what I deserve with my art and like how to scale it as a business. Like, I love my art and whatnot, but how can I scale it as a business? And he really helps me with that part, and turning what we love into profit. And like, going back to your question of like friendship versus business partners, it's like, I've noticed in my life, it's whenever you meet someone and it's just you guys having fun and doing the art for the love of it at first, and then it turns into a business, versus the opposite, like you kind of just doing business together and become friends. I've always found out that the first one, where you start out just doing what you love side by side and it becomes a business, that's always there's more longevity to that, in just my personal experience. And so for the first 6 months, it's like we really just were working together doing what we loved, and I think that's why it's working right now, that we are starting to make a little bread, which is good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So is it the Honey Group, is it just you two, or do you have like any like secretaries, like managers and stuff like that?
It's just us two. Yeah. So we're pretty much just kind of taking on like our own delegation, and we have subcontracted like with Tage for Seneca One, and there's other people that want to get involved, but that's more of like an issue with.
We're right there.
Yeah,
like by the end of the summer, I don't know if we'll have like full-time employees, but we're going to be contracting out a lot more, I feel like, because we both are starting to get really busy, and we need to outsource. And also, like, I think it's a good and healthy thing to do whenever you can, because Honey is so me and Ryan coded that like once you get another set of eyes on it, like it could take a whole nother path, or you know what I mean, segment off and do other things. But
it's like the too many cooks in the kitchen dilemma. Like, I don't know, we're not scared to scale out and like delegate stuff, but we're bootstrapping, so realistically, part of it's like a capital issue, and then part of it's like, okay, well, we're not at this point where we can't literally can't sacrifice time to do this particular task. Like, I'm cool with handling certain things as Thomas is, and then I can focus on DJ stuff, like it's manageable. So I think the minute it isn't, like, that's when it'll get to a point where it's like, hey, we want to bring this person on, and people have asked us. It's just difficult because like, you can't tangentialize like what they're gonna get or get delegated with. So
right. Typically, how long are your sets?
So at Honey, like, I don't know, it depends, because like at Patrick's I'm playing from 7 to 1, and then when I'm there, like when I was there by myself,
he
like
goes
last
for a
summer.
marathon.
Yeah,
it's insane to see.
That's crazy.
He locks in.
He
locks in and goes crazy.
Yeah, I could legit play for like 8 hours. So on Halloween, like the Jackrabbit, I started at 10.
How many songs on your USB?
There's about 4,000. Yeah, so it's just all dance music, which is helpful. Like if it was open format, it'd be harder to organize and stuff because the tempo is a little bit more variant. But I make sure to stay like pretty organized, and I don't know, the sets I've played anywhere from like 45 minutes to like 8 hours. I think is the longest one I've played.
That's good.
So yeah, it's definitely like a challenge, but I don't like 1 hour sets. They feel like a tease. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just like do those for fun on SoundCloud and stuff, but in like an actual like Honey show, I'm there from start to finish, whether I'm playing with somebody else or doing it solo or another variation. So I would say anywhere from like 5 to 7 or 8 hours, typically.
Yeah, that's wild. I think Dante has to make a trip and really let loose. Go to the next meeting, the next honey,
Saturday.
All the metrics, yeah.
Saturday. Pull
Let
up to
loose. I mean, I
Patrick's.
would pull up, but let loose.
Yeah.
Nah, you gotta let
You don't have to.
That's why me and
I didn't say take off
Tom's
the shades.
connected because we're both introverts, but
Yeah.
we're like passionate about our craft.
Yeah.
So when we found out we were like both in the same field, that's when we like.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's kind of easy at like the temp. Like, trust me, dude. You'll catch a vibe, bro.
I'm telling you, bro. I'm be on the wall.
That's
I would enjoy myself.
That's cool
For
though. You're
sure.
gonna have a little swing to you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Basics,
facts.
Yeah.
You know, hand movements.
Yeah.
When
that's
I'm
it,
not
bro. If you do
shooting,
this-
I'm the same.
If you get a
I'm
hand
feeling it,
movement
but
out
I'm
of
not.
Dante at the club, he's having a
Yeah.
ball.
Sometimes I clip farm. Like, I'll go in front of the camera, in front of the DJ, and I'll start jumping up and down and getting crazy, but like, for that clip. Outside that clip, like, I'm just chilling.
Well, I couldn't work.
But
man.
people get crazy. Like, they love the 360, which is like, the crowd is surrounding the DJ, and they love that. Like, they feed off his energy and makes you feel like a part of it.
Yeah.
Super immersive experience, and people jumping up and down and stuff.
That's what I think is like giving us a lot of success. Is like the 360 set, because it gives like more of a relatability to people.
Yeah.
Who are, and there's a ton of people who just kind of came up to us and like have a piqued interest in DJing, and they want to see like, oh, you know, how do you work the rig? Like, what's your mixing style? How do you pick songs? Like, and stuff like that. Or they'll ask questions, and just I've even seen like just kind of quiet observation. Like, they're really interested in it, and it's scales to more than just like people who want to DJ. It's just like patrons as a whole
For sure.
of the party. So
Well, do any of them DJs, do y'all scratch?
there's a few that do. I think people use. I have scratched before, like on tracks and stuff, but it's typically with like a vocal chop or
Okay.
the DJ software has another mode called slid mode where like you can just pull the lever down, and if you scratch it, like will just go to the continued spot that like it would be if you didn't scratch.
Oh, that's interesting.
So like some people have done that, but it was a lot more popular like with
Scratching is
vinyl
more
DJs and
vinyl,
stuff.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are people who do it, and I've done it before, like mix stuff in, but it's not super common, I would say, for house DJs.
So, and my next question is like, let's say parties, it's going smooth, you know what I'm saying? It's getting a good little grooves, shorty over there vibing,
Yeah.
but you're trying to take it there, and it's like, next song I'm about to play is an absolute banger. I know I'm about to turn the spot out. What are you playing?
So over the summer last year, it was this remix of "Where Have You Been" by Rihanna, and I would pitch it up by a semitone, and it would always make it like super bright. And when I would mix it in, like the drop, it's got this really big 808 tail that just like scans through probably like 8 bars. And so by the time it comes in, it like takes you almost out of like whatever moment you're in, but then it's like an auditory cue, and then you just hear like the "I've been everywhere," and it's within like a few seconds, like it's just erupting. Like I gotta turn my headphones up like to get the next thing ready. So that one, a lot of the sing-along stuff works, but I think with just turning up like any of the energy of the night, it has to be a level of like recognizability or just some smooth transition or like an exaggeration. There needs to be like some contrast from what you had played, I guess.
A couple months ago, it was "Where You Are" by John Summit.
Yeah.
Anybody plays that song, it's going crazy.
Yeah, there's a couple tracks, like I would say
Just
for
guaranteed bangers.
a couple month lifespan that just, I mean, they shred for like super long, and whatever like John Summit has out right now, like you could probably safe to play that or
Yeah.
Gotcha.
variations of it, like crowd pleasers or just higher energy tracks in general.
Yeah, I'm looking for the EDM like dreams and nightmares.
The EDM,
That's what I'm really
Yeah.
trying to do.
yeah,
Like,
EDM
selfishly.
dreams and nightmares. Like right now, or like in my DJ
Right now.
right now.
That everyone is just getting hyped to.
I would say Mirth or Mal P.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he
That's a good answer.
Mal P he sampled a track, you know, World of Music. It's like an old reggae song, and the bass line on it just like carries. It's like this really big FM bass that just carries throughout the whole track. And, like super predictable. It's got really good call response stuff on there. I would say that's like the biggest one that I think is
Yeah,
gone.
I agree.
Anything by this dude Odd Mob, because his stuff's generally faster and it's got like those big bass stabs that just kind of carry through. So yeah, stuff like that. I would say those two are probably like the biggest ones right now.
Murder by Malpe.
In general,
Yeah.
if you wanted to just get like the entire crowd involved, like the same longevity as Dreams and Nightmares, you could probably do Where You Are by John Summit, honestly.
Yeah.
Like still.
I'll add that to my Apple Music.
Or Do It To It by 8 Craze, like
Yeah.
Sample Cherish. That song's got like 12 billion streams.
Or One Last Breath by Creed.
Yeah, we have played Creed at Honey shows before. It's
I
pretty
know.
hilarious.
What cameras do you use? What brand do you prefer?
Right now I
Pocket
use a
disc,
Sony A7 IV. Yeah, pocket disc. Sony A7 IV. I'm fiending for the FX3 right now.
Yo, me too,
Yeah,
bro.
that's literally because he has a next purchase for DJ gear and I have a next purchase for a camera already. Dude, I need that FX3.
Bro, that's what I've been looking at. I was telling Morrow, so on Best Buy, they had one for like, I think it was like $1,800 at one point. It was a used one.
Oh.
And I was like, I'm about to get it. And I was waiting like a couple of days.
Yeah.
Like 2 days later, gone. The next available one, obviously,
Bro,
is
that's
like
like
the retail.
60% off.
Bro, the next gen was like retail price was like $3,500 or something.
Man.
Yeah, but that's definitely my next purchase.
If you get one before me, I'm gonna hit you up to rent it.
I'll rent it to
You just got a sick camera though for Ultra.
Oh yeah, I got for like a on the go one. I got the Ricoh GR3. It's like the Fuji F100V.
Yeah.
So it's like that, but more on the go. That one's really fun. It's a point and shoot. But yeah, camera wise, Sony body, G Master lens, and that's really it. I shoot handheld everything. I have a really cheap flash.
Could I ask something real quick?
Yeah.
Because I always hear about G Master lenses.
Yeah.
Because I shoot too, but I shoot out Black Magic. Is G Master like that?
Dude,
like,
I'm
is it
kind of
like
a douche
nice?
for even saying that, but it was just like ingrained in my brain because I see it every day. But like that was not intended to be a flex. It's not that great.
no. It's just I see it often. Like
Yeah.
I will go on Facebook Market just to be looking at like different cameras that I could possibly buy, and a lot of them have G Master lenses and stuff. So
It's just like that Canon lens right there with the red ring. Like that just means it's their L series, like their best glass. Which glass arguably is the best. Like I would buy better glass over a camera body. So it's their just premium glass and like lowest f-stops available in the brand and all of that.
It already has image stabilization with the lens.
Yeah, and if I wasn't gonna get G Master, I would only get like the Sigma Art series if I was trying to save money. But I want to
go with Tamrons.
You really?
Tamrons.
Okay, right on.
Another reason Thomas and I work super well is we're both like just super nerds about what we're into. So like, I have no clue like what you guys were just talking about, but I could take that same thing like for DJing and just like a computer and
we've worked next to each other. Like video editing and music production is actually super similar. Like, do you do both?
I don't do any music production.
Have you ever like worked with someone that was doing it?
Morrow.
It's kind of the same.
Well, actually, he does both.
Like,
you're just like stacking clips or you're stacking audio tracks, and that's really it. And then, especially when you get like super into, like the past year, I've gotten super into audio in my videos, like SFX and stuff like that, because it makes such a difference now, like the layering of audio tracks and stuff like that. And you are making music in a way, like you're completely changing the video and how it feels and whatnot. So when he was working with me for the last recap, he was like, I get it. Like, I see it. And then when I'm watching him do it, it's like, I do it too. I get it. I just don't know how to make all those melodies and stuff. And I honestly have no rhythm. So it's like...
Yeah, my old roommate, he did like engineering and producing and mixing, and I was doing video editing. So when he would watch me edit, he'd be like, bro, this shit looks like quantum physics right now.
Yeah.
I'm like, when I'm watching you engineering and recording yourself, it looks like the same to me.
Yeah.
But they're like you said, they're similar.
Yeah.
But when you were nerding out about DJ stuff, I was like, I'm about to flip this episode around. Let's
go. Love it. That's how you gotta be, right?
Yeah.
You want like passion out of that. Like some of the best videos, in my opinion, are like ones that we both given like really good input to, or just like DJ set nights where he's like, yo, I want you to play this track, or he'll come up and just be like, yo, like, have you played this one yet? I'm like, oh shit, I haven't. And then it can just take the night to like a totally different direction, because then you get one idea from there, and like, it's just cool like in that regard. So
Absolutely. Top five. So we got a top 5 segment.
Let's go.
okay, let's do
Pretty
it.
self-explanatory. So when it comes to putting together events, what are the top 5 essential things you know you'll need in order to throw a successful event?
Wanna go bar for bar?
Yeah, top 5 collectively.
Do you want to start from 5 or 1?
Go to just
Yeah,
no
you don't have to
no
put them in
order.
All right, so important things. I would say the most important thing, actually, even though I know we just said no order, like understanding like why you're doing it in the first place, as opposed to like how are we gonna do this. Like if you're saying, how do I get this equipment? How do I book this DJ? How do I, negotiate with this venue, or like how do I come up with this playlist, instead of like why am I doing it in this way? Why am I picking these songs, or whatever it is. It's infinitely harder than if you're asking like the purpose of it. So I'd say like having a purpose, and then go to the next one. Being able to accurately do projections. So if you are like, so we've had people who are like, dude, I'll bring 100 people to like your event and just blow it out, and realistically they won't. They might get like kind of close, but if I like take that at face value and I just go to like the person that I'm trying to book the event at, or like for, and I fall short, then like there's all these additive problems that you don't want to worry about.
Yeah.
So purpose, realistic head count.
Yeah, like transparent expectations. So like,
Which leads to my point, was gonna say like, who are you throwing the event with?
yeah,
So doing business with good people for sure.
Yeah.
Like, are both parties in it for the right reasons? Both people want the same outcome? Is it fun for both parties? And all of that like changes the mood and atmosphere of the event for sure. Like,
open communication.
Yeah.
Like if you're upset or frustrated about something, like can you go to that person and say it directly? And
you don't want like something, dude, things pop up throughout the
Yeah.
night, like not major problems, but it could be major problems. And it's like, if you can't get that solved and go to someone that owns the venue or whatever, like on site, and get that solved ASAP, like it's gonna give you insane anxiety. You're not gonna have a good time, or the event is just gonna flop and stuff like that.
So I'd say purpose, transparency, being able to estimate like accurately with good projections, the
Which
ability
comes
to
with
pivot.
a whole rollout,
Yeah,
like
Like
which is
marketing.
another thing, marketing.
I would say marketing, the ability to
Like,
pivot.
if nobody knows about your event, nobody's gonna be at your event.
Yeah.
So it's like, we do Facebook ads like right now, only about a week out, and then we like usually announce an event 2 weeks out, start rolling out content, getting everybody excited. Like, there was a study by a guy who worked in nightlife in Miami that when did people have the most fun when they were going out on a Saturday night? And the majority of the answers were at the pregame. And why is that? Because psychologically, most people just enjoy and get the most fulfillment out of anticipation. So you want people to anticipate your event, get excited for it. They will have a good time at the event, but like, it's really like undervalued the amount of how important like anticipation is for your event. So we try to make it super exciting so that when you walk through the door, you're like giddy almost and excited for a good night. Like, you know you're gonna have fun.
It's like good foreplay before the honey pack.
Come on! Let's go! That's exactly what it's like.
Hold on, wait.
You're not just going right in there, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, warm it up. Come on!
I'd be good, but like.
So I guess like to summarize like that, I would say, yeah, like a good rollout, which is understanding like your purpose, the ability to do like a realistic expectation of, how much is this going to bring in, how many people, like transparency with the DJ or anybody else that you're planning the event with, the ability to pivot, and then
AV.
Yeah.
Like actually, I'd say AV, audio visual, very important for a venue. Yeah.
Building a community too around it if you're doing them recurring. Like, there are a lot of people that routinely come to Honey, and we've established a relationship with them that kind of goes beyond just, hey, we see you all the time, and that's the whole bar star dynamic. Like, you don't really know that person, you just might be mutual on Instagram or whatever. But
dude, I've created so many friends through Honey. I think all my friends are through Honey.
Yeah.
Because I really don't go out much if it's not Honey, and it's something I'm trying to work on. Go out, shake hands, meet people and whatnot. Because one, that helps in business, but also just in life overall. But everyone I meet at a show always has something really nice to say. I feel our demographic is just really nice people who are just trying to have fun on the weekend, and it's as simple as that. And it kind of goes without being said that we will not grow without them. If people stop showing up to our shows, we will never move forward. We will not be able to bring A-list talent to Buffalo, which then will make them even more happier. Because every house music fan in Buffalo wants to see this name and that name in their hometown without traveling to an expensive music festival or whatnot. So without community, it wouldn't be fun, and we wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah.
You guys ever thrown a bunch of honey packs into the crowd at an event?
We had a guy, shout out to John, he brought honey sticks.
Yeah.
I don't know where
It's been a lot, just regular honey though.
Yeah.
We weren't throwing out.
You gotta get the good stuff.
It would be cool to have
This was on a whole different line. Time number 2.
Sunrise Market.
Do you ingest it? What is this?
Now, what you got going on tonight, bro? What you getting ready for?
Now got something.
He got something on his mind.
About that time.
You wrap this up right now? Wait, what time you got?
But it's nah, really, it's because it's funny. Because who got the honey pack thing? Was it FB the Pac-Man?
Yeah,
FB the Pac-Man.
Honey Pack song.
Oh yeah.
That
shit goes crazy.
I'm just saying, hip hop and R&B, they don't make love making music no more. So shit, we got the honey pack. I'm expecting somebody to get, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get it rocking after the function.
Yeah. It also felt just like Honey, outside of the actual Honey Pack. Obviously, that was the first bout of inspiration. But just Honey, the more you hear about it, nature's remedy, it gives you a ton of energy, just holistically, and
it's immortal, man.
It's sweeter than sugar. A lot of the linguistic wordplay, we would repeat back to ourselves, sweet experiences in Buffalo and beyond, or how you had said in the beginning, created a buzz, you might not have even intended for that, but or swarm the stage. There's a lot of wordplay that can kind of go into it, which I thought was really cool, and kind of made us want to even gravitate towards that name if I had not necessarily known what a honey pack was. But it was ironic, and I think it's funny because if people kind of get it, then they're like, oh, you saw a honey pack Happy Meal, stuff like that.
Yeah, our meal at Rec Room was called the Honey Pack Meal.
That's fire.
So you get a honey barbecue sauce and chicken tenders, and then fries, I think, too.
Yeah. It was pretty cool.
So.
On some Travis Scott shit.
Trying to
Did you
get
get residuals off of the people? Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's super tough. So my segment is a third eye segment.
Okay.
So we talk about unconventional stuff,
Let's
conspiracy
go.
theories,
Let's go.
aliens and all that shit. So okay.
I'm a fan.
So so because we were just talking about honey, so there's African I don't say shamans, Sanusis they got a different name from, but there's a bee shaman. There's a guy who's covered he was face of a bee covered in mushrooms. Okay. So one thing that they used to do, they used to take psilocybin mushrooms and dip them in honey, and they'd eat them, or they would leave them in there to preserve them because honey doesn't spoil.
Right.
So therefore, they keep the mushrooms, have psychedelic honey and shit like that. Y'all into psychedelics at all? Or?
I've done exactly that.
Yeah,
that's fire.
I'm not really into it.
That's why you named it.
I've done I went through actually trying to like help my brain and stuff. I experimented like microdosing mushrooms, and I would take them with honey in between like crackers or anything.
That's fire.
So yeah, the combo is amazing. And I mean, I'm open about it. I've talked to a lot of friends about it because obviously there's a stigma around like hallucinogens and whatnot, but
Unfortunately.
yeah, it is what it is. It's whatever. But yeah, mushrooms I think helped me a lot. Like I haven't had that calling to do them again in like probably 2 years, but for a period there, I definitely experimented with them, and I found nothing but good experiences, like creatively or just like looking inward and seeing. Like I always explain like having a bad, like everyone I used to talk to about it when I was super into it, they're like scared about having a bad trip and stuff. And I just looked at it as like, well, you're scared to like see your true self and like what you're hiding, because
Literally.
when you take something like that, you're like opening that closet of skeletons, and you have to face it. And people who start like tripping out about it and having a bad experience, it's like they were not ready for that.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, sometimes you're not ready. Like I remember seeing and feeling some pretty crazy things, and luckily I was able to like step back and be like, you're experiencing this for a reason. You have to make it through. You have to like make amends with it. And that was like one of the coolest experiences ever. And like,
you make it up the other side.
Yeah, for real.
That's what it's really
like you
about.
learn a lot about it, a lot about yourself. And yeah, I don't have anything bad to say about that, unless you're trying to go like God mode and get sent to the moon. And like, I don't know if you're doing it for the right reasons and whatnot, but
Get one
hey,
shot.
to each their own. Sometimes you never come back, bro.
I've just heard like too many stories of like these like
I've seen
brilliant
people
like
never come back.
like these brilliant people. They're like, oh man, you know, I don't know. They have like a very minor inconvenience, and then they're like in the jungle like doing ayahuasca, and all of a sudden their whole life is just like derailed and stuff. So I'm not really into it like too much. I have like a little bit into the spirituality part of it. I had like a really rough experience like mentally for myself in college and trying to graduate and like dealing with burnout and stuff. So I've learned a lot of stuff like through that in my studies, like externally in psychology. And you know, I think it was cool what you were saying about the psilocybin honey, because there's actually a bee in Southeast Asia, I forget which region, but I watched like a little documentary on it, and they produce hallucinogenic.
The wild honey.
Yeah, wild honey. They produce hallucinogenic honey, like naturally, and the people that they scale, like it's like 15-story cliffs on just regular rope, like the most bare minimum stuff, and they knock down these bees. They're like getting stung by the whole thing, and like
just for that
then they sell it, like, and that's how they make their entire living for like the years. It's just like hallucinogenic honey. So
they say that's how Winnie the Pooh could talk.
Yeah, yo.
He was high off that honey.
That's crazy. I can see that. Or maybe it was like the viewer who's like tripping.
Come on.
Right before
tripping.
You said Eeyore?
Eeyore was tripping.
Eeyore was just like was depressed.
I wish I knew those like cartoon memes or not memes, but like the conspiracy theories where it's like this was this drug, this was that drug. Winnie the Pooh has one of those. Like
Courage does. Eddie.
Oh, Courage used to scare the shit out of me, bro.
What's Courage? Schizophrenia?
Courage the Cowardly Dog.
I think it is schizophrenia.
Yeah.
You seen the Rugrats one?
Yeah, like they're all dead.
Yeah, like they're all dead.
Yeah, Angelica's hallucinating or something.
Yeah, it's like the dad is like always downstairs trying to build toys because Tommy's really dead, and he's like they're like hallucinating the whole thing.
Ed and Eddie one is they're all actually living in hell.
What the? Trying to get a job.
I don't know what the purpose is, but that was a conspiracy.
Dude, I love that and Eddie.
What's your favorite cartoon?
Favorite cartoons? I'd say Boondocks. Codename Kids Next Door.
That one's wrong.
You look like a Codename Kids Next Door.
Kids Next Door is fire.
I remember one.
I'll definitely know that.
Especially with the hat.
I fuck with the Fairly Odd Parents heavy too.
Yeah.
Dude, that was good.
Your top three?
I was Avatar: Last Airbender.
Fire.
Avatar is so good. I got put on to Avatar late in life.
Me too.
No, super fire. I don't want to repeat anything he said, but Jimmy Neutron was on mine.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Neutron and I think one more. Oh, Tom and Jerry.
Dude, you just took both of them.
The Jimmy Neutron and Fairly Odd Parents crossover.
Yeah.
The greatest show.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Next to the SpongeBob movie.
It's like SpongeBob.
I've never seen
Top
SpongeBob.
five.
SpongeBob is so good.
I've never seen the beginning to end.
You're wild. As a photography or a videography guy, you're wild.
For what?
For SpongeBob.
Oh,
Like, it was-
that's
it
not
was-
my favorite. That movie's just good.
It was just good. No. I'm saying for not
So
seeing
you're
it.
not
Oh,
seeing it?
yeah.
For
They
not
got,
seeing
they
it.
got a David.
The combo
Hasselhoff
of
cameo.
real life
Yeah,
to
they go all the
animation and
down.
everything.
I've seen it, just not beginning to end. So I've seen like bits and pieces.
Probably
Story building?
SpongeBob. My number one.
I was literally gonna say Jimmy Neutron and Tom and Jerry. Tom and Jerry when I was younger, but it's still goated.
Yeah, it's like you can still watch it.
Yeah,
you
it's
know what's gonna
funny
happen.
as hell
Yeah, you
now.
still want to watch that shit.
With no words.
I like when people commentate
Real
over
people
the clips
screaming
too.
and shit.
It's meme worthy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What's the name? One thing I wanted to just like how it goes out to the people in at Florida State. You know what I'm saying? By the time this comes out,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. I hope everything is cleared up, everybody's safe, and you know, with your families can be rough, especially during like finals and midterms and all that stuff. So like,
Prayers.
yeah, prayers to y'all. I ain't gonna lie. When I got into my conspiracy theory bag type shit,
Mm-hmm.
it was EDM DJ Avicii.
Oh
I
yeah.
knew what you were gonna say.
Yeah, and I thought it was always super dope that he would like incorporate like mental health
Yep.
and like positivity in his DJ set.
Mm-hmm.
But then they say, quote unquote, he died of suicide.
Yeah.
But if you watch his last video, he was kind of like highlighting the trafficking and those type of sketchy behaviors and stuff that happens overseas.
Mm-hmm.
In the era of like the Epstein files and all the crazy shit that's going on in the world. Did he? You know what I'm saying? Do you ever feel like you, as like as an EDM DJ, do you feel like you have to put a message into your like presentation or?
I would say like, so I was doing a SoundCloud series like on every Friday I would release a 1 hour mix like on Fridays like right at 6 a.m. So I would just finish it and either be like a live set from like one of the nights I played out or anything like that. And I remember like when I was first starting it, and I've kind of tapered off from doing it just from like, I got to do the live events and stuff and more coordination with that than like a SoundCloud mix. Like I remember I would always kind of have like a vibe that I would carry through the whole thing, and you know, in some of the songs or like lyrics I would pick, there's I guess not like innuendos, but like you could feel one way about it, or there's kind of like an inherent like underlying message in it. At different points, it was just kind of how I was feeling like that week. So I think in that sense I have, but the thing with like Avicii, like he was renowned for his melodies. Like his entire, I think if he was still alive, like the entire genre itself would just be different. It would be way more bright, way more melodic, and just kind of less focus on like the lower like bass note frequencies. And so there was a documentary that was released like right before he died, committed suicide and stuff, and it had like a completely different tone of why he did that. So I think that's kind of why the whole conspiracy portion like plays into it, because that one is no longer available. Like you have to go and find it on like a pirated source or like a Google Drive link. Like, and so with the release of the new one, it kind of paints like a completely different reason as to why.
That's very interesting.
So or like how he was like up until that point. So, you know, he was the most in-demand like DJ. I mean, doing like over 300 shows like in a 365-day calendar year, hopping back and forth, and really didn't have a break. Like he just suffered from like terrible burnout. But I think it is kind of interesting like what the last music video he ever made is about, and like the last song, and I don't know how much that plays into it, but I could totally see. I mean, the whole upside and like all that shit's just like crazy, like with the Diddy stuff, and yeah, unfortunately it's sad. Like it happened. It's like one of the biggest black market segments. So
yeah, it's just an unfortunate. It's an unfortunate loss. for the EDM scene, and I hate when I hear about artists or DJs and when it's like posthumous. It was like, oh, they were doing some really positive shit, and then I didn't get to appreciate them while they were.
Too late, basically.
Yeah, like I want to appreciate them while they're here.
That was me with X. Like I didn't really know about him until he was gone, and then I was like, damn, this music's really good.
I didn't know how much of an impact he had until he.
Right? I didn't know that either.
It was that like, but yeah, I see what y'all doing, and it's just like, man. Throw some honey packs at the shows and like throw them some honey packs. You know,
white labeling has been thought of. Like, getting our own, it has been thought of.
They sit them home with their ladies. They will come home with some honey pack babies. You know what I'm saying? Damn. We met at the honey group. This is a honey group baby.
Dude, I met my girlfriend at a honey show. Find love at a honey show is real.
Come on, find honey at the honey show.
Yeah.
Now can I?
Find love at a honey show.
So April 25th, you guys have a show, right?
Yes, sir.
So go ahead and tell us about that, because this will probably drop the day before.
Yeah, so we got a show April 25th at Rec Room. It's January, February, March. It's the fourth one that we've done there, so we're there on a monthly rotation. And yeah, we actually had a DJ that we originally scheduled, but then he had an injury like to his foot, and it's important to keep tempo. So as of right now, we're like gonna do some last minute fill and stuff, but that one's just sick. I mean, we do online pre-sale, so that's you can go to honeybflo.com/events and just scroll down to the event list, and it's the one that's at Rec Room. We do pre-sale tickets at discounts, and then we also have them available like at the door for cash cover. But door on that night is not going to be more expensive than $10, so you just show up to Rec Room anywhere from 11 to 3, pay $10, and you can experience the whole thing. So VIP sections, the CO2, like the 360 aspect of it. Generally for that format, we've had 3 DJs where like I'll play the entire 11 to 3 slot, but then there's 3 CDJ platters. So a DJ will come in for an hour and a half, and then they'll get off, and then another DJ will come in for an hour and a half, and then for the last hour of it, like we'll all be on at the same exact time. So it's pretty collaborative and like immersive, and you know, just buzzing all around like the Rec Room and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
yeah, you went there. Yeah, you got it. Yeah,
that was funny. But yeah, so I mean, I can redo it, I guess.
No,
I don't know.
Clip that.
Just feeling the buzz.
Yeah. But shit, yeah, man.
You guys ever been?
We haven't.
Come on Saturday.
I got you.
Either
If I say I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it.
Alright, word.
Yeah.
Dude, they
Not this Saturday, but next week. I got you.
They're also like networking events. Like, not even kidding. Like, you never know who you're gonna meet and what's gonna come out of it. It's really cool, honestly. It's a unique experience.
Just
really come open-minded. You don't have to dance. Like, if you're not like near the DJ or whatever, like, you don't have to be dancing. Like, you don't even have to be dancing near the DJ, but you feel like you don't have to if you're further away. Don't matter. Come hang, say what's up. Even if it's for an hour.
And what's the website again where they can come find it?
It's honeybflo.com, and then there's a tab for like events, reading about us, and then seeing some of the merch that might still be available. I think we have like 2 hats left before we're completely sold out.
Yeah. We're about to enter tariff.
Yeah, so
the tariff.
Gotta figure out a solution for that. And then our Instagram, honeybflo, is where you can see a lot of the event recaps or upcoming flyers and stuff.
And shit posts.
Yeah, we like to ship posts and like do memes as part of our marketing strategy. So
have fun with it.
Not opposed to that.
Yeah, so it's pretty awesome.
Bet that. We appreciate y'all boys pulling up, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys having us on, man. It was awesome.
Nah, anytime.
No label the pod. We out.
Peace.
No label.